This week's retro review of Deep Space Nine is called The Passenger, after this. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd. In this episode of Deep Space Nine, they are going to expect a shipment from the Gamma Quadrant of Duridium, whatever that might be. An important thing for a society on this side of the wormhole, and extra security has been brought to the station in order to make sure that there is no theft of this, seeing that it is a very rare kind of element. So, of course, Odo is keeping a close watch on Quark, and extra Federation security is brought in as well. There are some little things that go on there, but it's not terribly important. It, in the end, always settles out with the big Starfleet of I was wrong about you, and now I know better, and I will do better from now on. It's okay. However, we have a element of it, a disabled ship which has a fire on it. Fire suppression systems are out, and the pilot is dead, and there is basically a jailer and a prisoner who is to be delivered to some area close by. And while everybody's dead except for the jailer, they still go ahead, Julian and Kira go ahead and transport everybody onto the runabout and send them back to the station. They stabilize the ship enough to take it in tow, and then the plot starts. The idea of the dead prisoner by the name of Vendikar is interesting. The jailer doesn't really think that he's dead, and has said that he has been able to escape or fake his death so many times that she's not going to believe it until they've done, a complete cellular analysis and things like this. But still, things are going on that fit his MO. There's a disruption in the computer system. There are some things that are going on that we don't see. And while they're trying to figure out just how he might have transferred himself, they decided that their best theory between Dax and Julian was that he must have transferred his mind to someone else, but that most likely being the jailer. And so they don't even know where to start to look. Anyway, before long, Dax figures it out, and then there's a nice little twist, and then it's a matter of rescuing. It's kind of a straightforward episode, really, and reminds me of the old Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. There was always somebody that was going crazy, somebody in one of the lower decks, an officer of the week, or even one of the main characters would, for some reason, be the person who was affected by some kind of alien intelligence or evil spirit or whatever, and then try to create all kinds of sparks across the sea view. Well, in this case, that was kind of what they were doing with DS9. But I think mostly what we're talking about here is a couple of things. One is the almost arrogance of Bashir's self-confidence. We're talking about the fact that Odo is not completely secure in knowing whether Sisko is completely behind him or is just humoring him into making him the station constable. And with that, we find that these are resolved by the end, and Sisko makes it clear in no uncertain terms that Odo is capable of things that nobody else in Starfleet or anybody else could do on that station, and therefore he has 100% behind him. And that's probably one of the bigger character development things. Up to this time, Odo has kept Sisko kind of at arm's length. He is he is the head of security there, but he believes that, as soon as somebody from Starfleet comes along, that Sisko would automatically bend to them. And it turns out that that's not the case, and it turns out that maybe Starfleet security isn't so bad after all. So that's what we get out of this. It's another one of these fairly simple plot, and you might even be able to guess the twist. I did in the first scene, but what we're looking at is the dynamics between the various characters. We see a little bit about how Quark operates. We know a little bit more about Odo. We know a little bit more about where Sisko stands, and also some of Dax's talents, which, since the whole episode was based on Dax last week, it's interesting that they don't put her completely in the background, but she did have a lot to do with solving the puzzle this week. I'd like to know what you think. We have retro reviews on Deep Space Nine every Tuesday, and of the original series every Wednesday. And of course, we have reviews of Strange New Worlds every Friday. So stay with us, and we will keep you up to date on those kind of things. If you haven't become a member, if you have not subscribed yet, please do so. And that is a free thing to do. It doesn't cost you anything and does a whale of a lot of good for us. And if you click the like button, that's also something that is noticed by the YouTube honchos. So we would appreciate that as well. If you want to keep up with when we're going to be here, we're fairly consistent these days, but if you want to know when the next video is coming your way, you can click the bell icon on here, and it will notify you whenever a new video is dropped. So until next time, don't go far.